we go.
Drilled it in the mangrove.
Well, that didn't take very long. We thought we'd come out here on the high tide and see what we can find. Beautiful little Brembo there.
What are you throwing there, Deck?
Well, there's a little bit of colour to the water, so I went my old faithful 2.5 inch grub, and one of those new colours goes chartreuse.
I love that colour. I've already caught a few crackers on that.
Yeah, only a little fella, but it's a good start.
Yeah, just rolling our way along the mangrove edge.
Yep, slow rolling.
Slow rolling.
Yeah.
That's what was going on. Rolling, rolling, rolling. So today, we've had a few questions from you guys about retrieve techniques. So today, Declan and I are out on the water, fishing the salt, going to fish a few soft plastics. We'll talk a bit about structure, species, but the main thing we want to touch on is a few of the most common retrieves that we use when fishing soft plastics. So stay tuned.
That doesn't look like a giant grunter to me. That's pretty angry, whatever that is.
Fired up. Slow rolling. Slow rolling at 2.5 inch grubs. That dude's pretty cranky.
What do you got? A big flatty, is it?
Well, that's a good retrieve to start talking about anyway.
Yeah.
You just got that brim on the slow roll. Now we're on whatever this guy is.
Giant
flatty.
flatty.
Nice flatty. Nice flatty. Slow rolling. Basically just
wow,
means slow winding your plastic. So we're just rolling the reel, slow rolling that plastic. He's a nice fish.
That's a very good flathead.
I'll turn his nose around and come back with the flow, eh? Here he comes. No, he doesn't want to come. He's solid, hey.
That's a good fish.
He's healthy, he's got some strength. He doesn't want to come around and play the net game.
Come here,
there we go. What a cracker.
A great fish.
Slow rolling.
There we go.
So soft plastics can sort of be as complicated or as simple as you like to make it. And slow roll is one of the most simple retrieves that you can do.
Yep.
So I'm just running a 2.5 inch SwimZ in jelly prawn colour, beautiful new colour. And that guy's just drilled it. So that's a,
absolute chunk of a flathead. Yeah, come down.
So our slow roll, our slow wind. When you're doing that slow rolling retrieve, you definitely want to have a plastic that's got a bit of action to it. So I've got a paddle tail on there, Declan's got a curl tail, and we're just slow winding that plastic and letting the action do the work. The fish find it, boom, they eat it, and that's a nice flatty.
Yeah. Right, quick start right up here on the flats. Slow rolling some plastics.
Yeah, well, it doesn't get any simpler than cast it out, wind it in. So we'll talk a little bit more about how to control where your plastic's at in the retrieve and that sort of thing with a slow roll. But for now, we'll get this guy back in the water. All right, while Deck's in there picking away at the mangrove edges, I'll throw a few wide as well on this little drift through here that we're doing. It's all flats out here, so it could be anything out on these flats. And basically when I'm slow rolling like that there, I'll just throw a big long cast. It's a great retrieve for covering plenty of water. And what you can do is you can speed up the retrieve or you can slow down the retrieve, and that'll allow your soft plastic to come up higher in the water column or lower. So if you're bumping the bottom, you can speed up a bit and get it up off the bottom, or you can give it a bit of a lift. So the other thing with the rod tip is that rod tip can also control your depth. So between there and there is probably 2 meters of height and 2 meters of line angle. So if I lift my rod tip up, I can get that plastic up higher in the water column. If I lower that rod tip, I can run that lure deeper, run that soft plastic deeper. So on the flats here, I basically use speed and rod angle to control where in the water column my soft plastics are running. Mix it up until you find what the fish want, and then it's game on. All right, we've picked up a couple of fish. This area here looks perfect. We've got a tree in the water fallen down. We've got a deeper sort of drop off edge, and we've got water flowing past here and a little bit of bait. So this area here is a great area to slow roll plastics through. So we'll cast up with the flow, and we'll use that flow to bring those plastics to swim them back naturally on a slow roll. So we'll cast up ahead of that tree, allow that plastic to fall to the bottom, and then we're just going to slow roll it out from in under that tree as that flow brings it through. And if there's any fish holding in under there, they're going to see this plastic swim through with the current and jump on it because they don't have a lot of time to make a decision. People give me all sorts of that, John.
There we go.
Fish on.
On the slow roll. Yeah.
Looks pretty fired up.
Yeah. Nice little flatty again. Just found a little bit of current. We're just slow rolling those grubs back along. Well, I've got a grub, you got a slim swim.
Yep.
It's an angry little flatty.
That's the key thing with the slow roll. It is, because I belted him in the head. That's the key with the slow roll, is you need a plastic with a bit of action. So
yep.
paddle tails and curl tails are ideal for slow rolling a soft plastic.
He's a feisty little bloke. Yeah, that grub was just bouncing along the bottom. I could feel it bouncing. Every now and again I was pausing it. Yeah, he just nailed that little grub bouncing along there. Ready to go again. Work our way a little bit along with this bank.
Oh, I drilled that.
There we go, double hook up.
Double hook up, slow rolling plastic from a round structure. How good's that? Might be a school of buddies sitting around here, eh?
Yeah. Nice net job. Oh, mine's off. But yeah, those guys, most people you'll see are always hopping plastics, but the flatties definitely do not mind that slow roll. So,
yeah, how's that, a double?
Double hook up, yeah.
Double hook up, slow rolling plastic.
All sorts going on there.
Yeah, I'll just loop this guy around, but how's that? That's
yep.
two of the best plastics you could do that with as well. 2.5 inch curl tail, 2.5 inch paddle tail. There's a couple of nice flatties.
Yeah. Here's the fish. Yeah. Oh, there's our mate just there.
Yep.
Oh, it's a bamboo project.
Yeah, there we go. Just slow rolling, cast right in amongst those trees there, let it fall to the bottom, and then just slow rolling it back out. The cool thing about a slow rolling retrieve is you can basically fish it almost anywhere, Deck, eh? Like, yeah. It's good if the fish are finicky, it's good for covering water. This is only a little flatty, but he loved that little paddle tail on the roll. Yeah, our slow rolling retrieve, effective in shallow water, effective in deep water around schooled fish and bait. It's about letting that lure get down, and the slow roll is all about keeping the presentation in the strike zone as long as you can. So whether you're rolling deep through schooled bass, or whether you're rolling shallow for flatties and brim and those sorts of things. So there we go. Deck was definitely getting a lot more action than on that 1/8 ounce head. So I lightened up the head on that one. 2.5 inch slim swims again. That's in the fiddler crab colour. So a beautiful natural colour for chasing those brim and flatties and that sort of thing. So there we go. Just a little pocket rocket, 1/8 ounce head, and that 2.5 inch slim swims in fiddler crab. Just that slow roll. Got the bite. We'll send him back in. Righto, so the slow roll is pretty versatile, but there's another swag of retrieves in our kit, so we'll have a look at another different retrieve.
Right, we've had quite a busy morning slow rolling plastics, but I reckon it's time to change techniques. We've had the tide drop out a bit now, so we've got a big exposed sandbar here, and we'll try and get a few reaction bites by burn and kill. So basically it's a few quick burns and then pause it, and quite often the fish will be chasing it, and as soon as you pause it, they'll eat. Generally triggers a few really aggressive bites.
Aggressive.
So,
I love it, eh?
Yeah.
Yep. So it's, yeah, the wind sounds pretty aggressive,
yep.
But the burn is the wind and the kill is the pause. So you can vary the speed of the burn and the length, duration of the pause, yep, until you find what works, and let's get some brutal strikes. Yeah.
Have a couple of casts here because there's a few fish here, and then we'll move back down. There we go.
Whoa, that's fired up.
That was an aggressive bite. As soon as I started winding that again, that guy absolutely smoked that. Definitely a fair few along this little edge here. Wait. Yeah, beautiful little flatty. He's a bit fired up because he ate that at about 1,000,000 miles an hour. Just absolutely smoked that ghost chartreuse there. See it across his mouth. It's better to go a bit of an out there colour for it because the fish are going to have to be moving pretty quick to eat them, but that guy was all over it.
Yep.
There's an absolute stack of fish on that corner.
Righto, I often teach kids how to fish soft plastic, so whether it be rallies or at some of the little fishing talks that we do and those sorts of things. And one of the retrieves that I focus on for kids who are getting into soft plastics is the burn and kill. They love the name, burn and kill, but once you explain it to them, it sticks as well. So they just got to get that thing out there. And then what I get them to do is I get them to talk through what they're doing. So they go, wind, 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 1, 2, 3. Wind, 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 1, 2, 3. We're burning, and then we're killing. Burning, yeah, and there's a fish. So when they're winding it, it's bringing the lure up off the bottom. And when they kill it and pause it, oh, he's off. We'll get him back in the water. He's heading for Declan's feet. He's away back in the water. So it's perfect for the kids because they only need to learn those two things, the wind and the stop. So 1, 2, 3, wind, wind, wind. And that's about it. So it's a real nice, simple one. Perfect for those that are just getting into soft plastics fishing as well. Nice and simple. And all we do is wait for that plastic to hit the bottom. Boom, I've got slack line there. Wind, wind, wind. 1, 2, 3 is our pause, and our plastic's back on the bottom. Wind, wind, wind. 1, 2, 3. Wind, wind, wind. You can get the kids to say it for a while, and then it starts to drive you nuts, and you tell them to do it in their head. So you'll still see their mouth moving when they say that wind, 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 1, 2, 3, but it's a very effective way to cover water, and it's a great way to get stuck into a few fish as well. That wind, 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 1, 2, 3. One quick tip if you are fishing with kids and getting them into soft plastics is to up the jig head weight one size. So from an 1/8 to a 1/6 or a 1/6 to a 1/4. What that does is it allows you to throw a longer cast, get that lure further out there, and it also ensures that the kids are staying near the bottom when you are chasing flatheads. So they can do that wind, 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 1, 2, 3, and you know that the lure's near the bottom, and it's also out there for longer, which saves you throwing as many casts. And you'd be surprised how many times I've had people come back to me and say, mate, that was epic, the kids got stuck into a bunch of fish. So get out there, up that jig head weight one size, throw those big long casts, wind, 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 1, 2, 3, fish on. Oh yeah, nice head, beautiful hit, burn and kill. Oh, that watercolour was getting a little bit dirty, so put that ghost chartreuse on. Oh, I love that hit on the burn and kill deck. That is so good. Not a bad fish, like legal fish, but not a big fish, but man, didn't he belt it. That was excellent.
A bit of drag on that strike.
Yeah, so there you go, that's a good retrieve. You know, if you're not sure what you're doing with the plastics and all that sort of thing, you can just go a little bit bigger head and you can do that burn and kill. So on the burn, I got that thing moving. On the kill, he ate it. So pan size flatty if you wanted to feed. That was on a 1/4 ounce 3/0 in a big eyes, and I've got a 4-inch StreakZ curly tail on there. So you can see that's quite a large plastic, but on that burn and the kill, it was getting away from him on the burn, and then boom, on the kill, he smashed it. So there you go, little flatty, burn and kill retrieve. Might change things up, Deck.
Yeah, I reckon. Right, our next technique is going to be the hopping retrieve, which we're just going to cast out, generally up current or along the current, and we're just going to bounce that plastic back down along the bottom, looking for all of those creatures that are hanging right close to the bottom. So we'll just cast up here and see how we go. There we go. Oh,
he's a nice one, eh?
another beautiful little flatty. Just found somewhere where the fish are going to be congregated, and we're just focusing our attention on it, just methodically working it. There's a fair few fish down there. Smash that little curly tail again.
Just doing a couple of hops and then a pause.
A couple of hops on that curly tail again. Beautiful little fish.
There we go. There we go. Off.
Bunch of fish sitting in that corner. Hey, jumping flathead.
They loved the curl tail.
Yeah.
I'll have to rip this through there.
Size fish.
It's pretty nice when they're schooled up like that,
Yeah.
though, Deck. They're a schooling fish, so often a big one sitting in amongst them as well. See if we can get that one. Loving the curl tail hopped off the bottom.
Righto. Finally got a hold of him.
Send it to the crew.
There is a bunch of flathead down there. Front's flying over it beautifully.
Hop, hop,
Hop, hop.
on the drop, bang.
Absolute school of these fish. They're all about that 40 centimetre size.
Good fun.
Yeah, good fun. 4-inch curly tail, good to go again. What do you got on?
I've now got a 4-inch StreakZ curly tail on. You crack the pattern. I've got ghost chartreuse on there though, so we'll see if they like that. That dude's just skipping them in like crazy. This bloke's whacking bundles of them, so I've put a StreakZ curly tail on, and I'm going to give that. There we go.
I think the bottom is made of flathead.
Yeah, I think so. He's only a little tacker as well. But there you go, that hopping retrieve is deadly, super effective. We might just talk through the retrieve and see if we can cook one in the process. I'll get this guy off and back in the water. We'll give it a bit of a go. See you, mate. All right, so we're just going to throw a long cast. We're casting back up current and we're bringing it back naturally with the flow. So we'll make a cast up in around where that water movement and bait is there. We're just going to let it get to the bottom, give it a couple of hops. And I'm actually looking to see the line hit the bottom. So it's what they call cutting a V. So we can see the line cutting through the water until the plastic's on the bottom. Give it a couple of hops, watch that pause, let it get to the bottom. Some people like one long hop. Some people like to give it 2 hops or 3 hops. It doesn't really matter as long as you're bringing that plastic to life, you're kicking it up off the bottom, and then you're giving the fish an opportunity to eat it as it falls back down again. So up with the flow, watch that line. We're on the bottom, couple of hops, give it a pause, let it get back down to the bottom. Those fish are holding on the bottom in ambush. Yep, there he is. So we want to get that lure back down on the bottom again where those fish are sitting. And there he is, he absolutely drilled that. So the hop to attract their attention and bring it to life, the pause to give them a chance to eat it. And we're watching the line and we're feeling for that tick in the line. Set the hook like we did then, and there we go, fish on. All right, there's a stack of fish on the hopping retrieve. So that's probably one of the most common retrieves that you'll see people using. And you can use it in a wide range of applications, from super shallow to hopping deep edges and even hopping deep reef and rubble and all that sort of thing. So now we're going to change it up a bit. We've actually moved out into deeper water. And what are we going to be doing out here, Deck?
We'll just try, so we're in a fair bit of current and there's a lot of fish in this area. So sometimes you'll get a few bigger fish out deep here. So we're just going to drop straight down. We're in about 16, 18 foot of water, and we'll just stay straight up and down with it with the boat, drift out with the tide, and see if we can find a couple of these fish sitting out a little bit deeper.
Yeah, so vertical jigging the plastic or teabagging or whatever you want to call it. I've seen it used very well in the Flathead Classic for those big flatties fish deep. But you know, any species that are holding, schooling up around in or around the bottom, rock bars and weed beds and that sort of thing, and especially if there's a bit of bait on that sounder as well. So we'll give it a go. On, yep. Cross swords.
Double hook up there. Nice big bloody. So there we go, double hook up on the straight up and down.
There you go, perfect.
2 slightly better sized fish too. There. Just using the boat to drift along with the tide. And just slide that guy in there. Using the boat with the tide just to slide along. And those two absolutely scoffed it.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I've just straight away spot locked on that electric. There's every chance there's a whole school of fish down there. Oh, this guy does not want to stop. But yeah, straight up and down. But we're still covering a lot of water because we're drifting out with that tide. We've got to smash that. One on the curly tail and one on the... What's your dude doing there?
He's cranky, this guy.
He thought he was safe down there in 18 foot of water, but worked perfectly. quite an easy technique, just drop the line straight down and just drift out with the tide.
Yeah, I think probably the two key things to remember when you are teabagging or vertically jigging those plastics is you want to have enough weight that you can stay directly above the plastic.
Yep.
So you want to be working it directly up and down so that you can feel that you bump the bottom. And then the other thing is you don't want to be ripping it really aggressively too far away from the fish. It really is just a few lifts up off the bottom and just keep it close to the bottom where those fish are feeding, and they'll rise up and eat it, but you don't want to be whipping it too far away from them. Just give it a couple of jigs and then those fish will rise up and eat it, or they'll eat it as it falls back to the bottom. That is epic. Good fun.
Yeah. Next Flathead on. Right, we just came straight back over that area that we'd last drifted, and there, bang, straight away the next one. Another nice fish. Slightly bigger size class than sitting on the bank at the moment, so always a good tip that sometimes if you're just catching those smaller ones, worth moving out deeper. And it's still not that difficult fishing this deep water if you're just teabagging.
Yep, drift with the flow, stay above the plastic, and just feel for that tick, eh? Feel for that bite.
Yeah.
And they're a better class of fish.
Yeah,
so we were utilising another technique in there, bang the numbers, came out, changed it up the size of fish. Come on, come out from under the boat line. Yep, there he is. There he is. There he is. He feels all right too. Doubles again, eh? Crazy. This guy's got good weight. Oh yeah, he's a nice fish.
Really nice flathead, yeah.
There you go, that nice fish just jigging the bottom. Jigging the bottom.
That net is pretty warm.
Yeah, she's net handle's warm, eh? It is an absolute cranking hot day today. The weather is almost as hot as the fishing.
Yeah.
We're going all right, and that's that bouncing the bottom again. I'm not going to sit this guy down where it's too hot. Just get a hold of him and give you a good look. On our 3-inch MinnowZ, 4-inch StreakZ curly tails again, that's that 3-inch MinnowZ. I absolutely love, if you haven't given that ghost chartreuse colour a go, you've got to get your hands on that and have a crack at it. It's caught me some epic fish already, this colour. There we go, what a magical colour, that ghost chartreuse. The best chartreuse I've seen, with that clear, real nice clear belly like only ZMan does it, with that silver fleck in there and that beautiful chartreuse top. And then I've paired that with a 1/4 ounce 3/0 in a DemonZ in that chartreuse colour as well. So plenty of chartreuse pop going on in that sort of 15 foot of water or so, we're in and around, and just allowing that plastic to sink straight down, giving it that little kick up off the bottom. These guys are schooled up on the bottom, they're coming up and just smashing that plastic. So nice aggressive eats as well. Yep. That's got a little bit of weight to it too.
There's definitely a few decent sized flathead down there.
How's that? Another one. We only just got back into position, dropped that back down again, and it's been eaten again.
Another great fish.
Yep, when you find them schooled like that teabagging the bottom, the vertical jigging off the bottom definitely becomes an option on the flatties for sure. He came in pretty green, that fella. So just remember, enough weight to get you down to the bottom where you can fish it straight up and down, and just keep those hops nice and small off the bottom so that you're not pulling it too far away from the fish, especially because you could be drifting quite fast with the flow. So even just those small hops are still moving with the water. So there we go. That is a nice flatty. 10 times tough ZMan hooked into his spikes there as well. So that plastic's caught a bunch of fish already. Still ready to go again, that 10 times tough elastic material. So nice fish, we'll pop that out. And maybe one more, and then we'll get moving and wrap it up. Try one more technique, I think. One more retrieve. Have a look at that, and then we'll get out of here and go and get a feed.
Yep, here we go. Right.
What a magic bit of water, sorry mate.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, what a magic bit of water you've put us on here. This is beautiful.
Right, so we're on our next retrieve. We hadn't even explained it yet, and there is a fish that has eaten it. Right, So different retrieve, so we've changed our plastics around. So I've gone to the 3.75 inch StreakZ because we're doing the shaking retrieve. So it's really erratic, not a hell of a lot of movement winding it in, but really shaky. So getting a lot of action out of that plastic whilst not. Whilst not.
G'day, buddy. Yeah. So as Dec was saying, with that shaky retrieve, it's like wind and shake and then pause. So you're actually not moving the plastic a huge amount out of the strike zone. It's all about creating movement, but keeping it where the fish are, giving them time to eat it. So it can be a great retrieve if you want to hold the plastic up around structure or over weed flats. You can use it virtually anywhere, but it's a great way to create lots of movement and really stir the fish up to feed without moving the plastic too far out of the strike zone. So we'll talk you through it a bit more, but we might see if we can get another fish now. That was pretty quick. All right, so again, we're casting up current and bringing it back with the flow. We found an area here, there's a little bit of a drain and a sand spit coming out, so it's a bit shallower water. So we want to sort of stall it up on that bank a bit and see if we can get a fish to eat it. So we'll throw a nice long cast up current and basically let it bump the bottom, and then all we're doing is shaking the rod tip and winding the reel, and then we're stopping. So we're giving it that shake and wind to get it jumping around and moving, and then we're giving it that pause. So if there's any fish behind it having a look at it, they might eat it when it does pause and stop. They might seize the opportunity. Otherwise, sometimes as soon as you go to move it again, the fish will drill it. So that shake and wind and stop. Shake, get that rod tip dancing. You can see Dec there as well, got that rod tip dancing. So that little jerk shad will be bouncing around and then stalling and then hitting the bottom again. So it's just it's a nice variation on sort of a mix of other retrieves. And I love to use it a lot of the time over the top of the weed beds as well. So I don't actually want the plastic touching the bottom. So I'll shake, wind, stop, but I'm still going again as that plastic comes down but doesn't hit the weed or just touches the weed. So you're not fouling up. Good for fishing over rubble, good for fishing over any snag areas, but also you can use it to bump the bottom like we are here as well. Oh yeah, there's a tick. There's a tick. That's what we're looking for. A little bit trickier with that breeze blowing now, and we've got that bit of belly in the line. But just watch the line for that tick. He ate it, just giving it that shaky retrieve, and then on the pause, tick, fish on. So shaking is allowing us to fish tight to the bank. We can cover a lot of water here, but we can keep that plastic in the strike zone. Bang, fish on. We'll get him off. And Declan will get this one in.
I've just got that 3.75 inch StreakZ on there, so imparting lots of action with that shaky retrieve.
And he loved it.
Perfect plastic for it.
All right, there you go. So now we're doing the shaking retrieve. Those first couple of retrieves that we focused on, the slow roll and the burn and kill, you saw that we had paddle tails and curl tails because we weren't doing a lot of work with the rod tip. It was more the work of the action of the plastic. And then we went to our vertical jigging, our shaking, our hopping, and that brings in another selection of plastics as well. Those jerk bait style plastics and those crustacean or prawn type plastics as well, where we use that rod tip to impart movement in the plastic and get those bites. So a bunch of different retrieves using a selection of different plastics. So let's shake a couple more up and then we'll get out of here.
There we go, on the shake. Oh, the little fella, but all good fun. I just drilled that thing as I was shaking it back towards us, only a little guy, but
shaking up a storm. All right, for all of the fishing that we've been doing today, stack of flatties we've caught and a few bream in amongst it, but we've been throwing soft plastic ZMans in between 2.5 and 4 inch, so good finesse size plastics, and jig heads ranging from 1/8 ounce through to around about 1/4 ounce. So that's had us covered. For fishing those, we've been fishing them on a 1 to 3 or 2 to 4 kilo black Mamba rod, round about a 2500 size reel, and fishing braid from about 8 to 10 pound, with leader ranging from 10 to 15 pound. Flatties have got raspy mouths and they can bite your leaders off, so we'll sometimes run a 15-pound leader in case we get a big one. So line-wise, I like that Pulse X8 for the fishing that we're doing here. Long cast, gets down quick, and that's 8-pound Pulse X8 I've got on there. And then I've got a 15-pound Platypus Hard Armour FC leader on there to stop those bite-offs. But just a light spin combo, perfect for all the retrieves that we're using fishing here today. All right, there we go, another little fella. This wind is picking up, there's a big storm building. So what do you reckon, Declan might do us?
Yeah, I think we should go home.
I'll get this little bloke back off here and get him back in the water. But that's been an awesome session, tons of flatties, heaps of fish. We went through those 5 retrieves, slow rolling, burn and kill, hopping, vertically jigging, and also we did that shaking retrieve as well. And speaking of shaking, everything in the boat's shaking right now. The wind's up, there's a big storm over here, the wind's sucking right into it. I think we better get out of here. We'll see you guys again soon. Get out there on the water, give those 5 techniques a roll with a few ZMan plackies, and I'm sure you'll find a couple of fish. Fish on.